Hi, welcome to this video about my pneumatic hand and robotic arm. Last time I completed the sensors on the gear and I tested the software using all inputs, which means the sensors of the hand and the sensors of the motor. Unfortunately, it turned out that the algorithm isn't quite as good as I hoped, because it listened to one sensor, and because of the fact that the motor keeps running, it won't listen to any other sensor, so I have to change that somehow. Another problem is that I have to reposition sensors, or at least one sensor of the motor, since it turned out that the sensor wasn't detected as well as I hoped. And that is that this axis should really press the sensor that is here. And sometimes it does, but sometimes it does not. Well, mostly it does and sometimes it doesn't, so that's a problem I need to tackle. And that is today's topic. So, with that said, I will go to do the screencast and see if I can make things work better. Although I can first start the program and show you on camera how things do work. I'll first start the program. Takes a little time. Alright, there we are. Then starting it, and you immediately hear that the motor is doing something but it can't run. And that is a problem of the sensor, which is located, let me adjust the camera a little bit, which is here. I press the sensor and it runs, and it's stuck, and I press the sensor here again, which should work. There it goes. And then it has a delay, so let's hope that it gets solved now. Unfortunately not, and you clearly hear the motor. Once again, pressing the sensor. Nope. There it goes. A little bit of delay. And up again. So, with this proof of not really working as intended, back to the drawing board, screencast. And as you can see here, it is completely jammed on that sensor, and I press it, after which it doesn't do anything yet. This is getting annoying. Now it does something, and with a little delay it goes back, and it doesn't touch the other sensor. So, stopping execution and going back here. This is the part that I added the last time, and you can see that while this sensor isn't done or isn't touched, it really doesn't listen to any other sensors. So that is a problem and that I need to resolve. Same thing happening here, by the way. What I can do, of course, is after each sensor asking for a sensor, but I don't think that is a viable solution, because it really slows down the whole thing. So I think the first thing to do is fixing the touching of this sensor, and this is some mechanics. Let's try it once again. And right now it doesn't even. Yes, now after some 4 attempts to get the compressor working, it works. So let's see how well it works. That's 3, finger 2, finger 1, finger 5 response. That is finger 4. Gently touching the other, and that is a sump. Four again. No response on 2. And this is something that is a learning, because now I'm pressing them and I keep holding them. It's just that for some reason finger 2 does not respond, but the others do. So this means that I was too impatient in this case of the algorithm, which apparently doesn't need a change anyway. And now I've pressed 2 and now 10, as you can see. And that was the lower sensor. Then pressing the thumb. For a while, which doesn't do anything. And I really have to find that sensor to be able to have it pressed. And I keep the thumb in, but there's no response. And I press sensor 10 now. Now it works. And it goes back. But the fingers, and I press them really continuously now, are not being answered. So this is a downside to the whole thing. And first thing to do is fixing that 10th sensor. So let's do that. Okay, I managed to slide the sensor a little bit down, maybe just 1 millimeter. So let's see if this works. Does this work the way it should? I hope this is visible enough. This is the corner piece to which the sensor is being attached. This little red piece is the sensor, which is touched by this bar or the axis, and here I can slide it up and down a little. And the problem is that its position for the sensor is really a very tiny thing to do. And if I look at it horizontally, it's just there. So the question is, why is it not entirely pushed in? And when I turn it, it becomes a little bit clearer, because here you see the wire coming from the sensor, but the plugs on the wire prevent it from being completely flat against this piece. And that may prevent the correct touching. It shouldn't, but it might be. And I have no idea how I can solve this, because it is already completely flat positioned. But that is the problem right now, and probably preventing it from really continuously or consistently, more better phrased, consistently touching by this axis. So with this revelation, without, I'm afraid, a current solution, I should refocus on the software, because I do have to keep in mind that I want to keep using the fingers and not just this. So with that said, back to the software. I try to apply a little piece of carton on top of the sensor using some adhesive tape. Not a clue if it will actually be of any help. It should be, but let us try anyway. Now, oh, I get it. Hold on. This was not the intention. One running and one not at all. So they should be put in the hole again. Like this. I hope this will work out. Let's start again. Yes. It looks like it is working. You clearly see the adhesive tape. Let's keep it to the poor man's solution. You also clearly hear the switch click. It looks like this is working. So let's try the fingers. That works. You also notice that as soon as these motors work, that the speed of the compressor slows down, because the power is needed also to be shared between the motors. But I don't think that's a problem. Pressing the thumb now, which works. Pressing the finger 4 now, which works. And as said previously, I need to have patience. I need to press them for a somewhat longer time, and then it works. And now you see that the adhesive tape is being pulled up and stretches again. So it remains to be seen how long this solution will work. And let me reposition the cam towards the hand. I press and then I would like to have the finger moved. Yes, thank you. The second finger mysteriously doesn't work, but I press 3 and that works. So with this solution I think it is nice to not have changed the algorithm, but to change a little piece of the hardware at the motor side. Learning to deal with the algorithm by holding the sensor a little bit longer. And with that I think it is a nice result for this video. So thank you for watching, and to be continued with other nice ideas.